Okay, let's just jump right in. What if I told you there was a single blueprint, a master plan, to solve almost all of the world's biggest problems? Sounds crazy, right? Well, today we're diving into a really radical proposal that claims it can do exactly that. It is a huge, huge idea, so let's get into it. And really, that's the big question here, isn't it? One system to solve everything. I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but this is being put forward as a serious proposal. So before we get to the solution, we really need to understand the scale of the problems we're talking about, the ones this system claims it can fix. So first up, the planet. And let's be honest, we're facing a whole cascade of crises. You've got climate change that's driving all this extreme weather, pollution that's literally choking our ecosystems, and this catastrophic loss of biodiversity. The source material basically describes it as our planet's life support system being pushed to its absolute breaking point. Then there's our economy. The sources point to this really dangerous mix of things. You've got inequality just skyrocketing, this constant threat of automation coming for our jobs, and national debts that are just spiraling completely out of control. It's a perfect storm for instability and a lot of hardship for millions of people. And finally, there's this breakdown happening within society itself. It's described as a kind of societal sclerosis. Like the arteries of our civilization are getting clogged up and things just stop working properly. We're talking about widespread corruption, political gridlock where nobody can agree on anything, and you see this slow motion decay of the services we all depend on, like healthcare or law enforcement. So yeah, that is a pretty daunting list of problems. But now let's turn to the proposed blueprint to fix them all, a system they're calling PerConFlow. Now, according to its creators, PerConFlow isn't just some new policy idea. No, they see it as a fundamental upgrade to our society's entire operating system. The whole idea is to use the latest technologies, especially AI, to completely re-engineer how our world functions from the ground up. And this quote right here, it really captures the sheer scale of the ambition. This isn't a small tweak. The model is being positioned as the next major evolution of our economic system, a kind of capitalism 6.0 that's built for the crazy challenges we're facing in the 21st century. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. How would a system like this actually work? What's the core engine that's supposed to make it all go? Okay, this right here, this is the absolute core of the whole idea. Right now, most of us get paid for the hours we put in or for our job title, right? Well, PerConFlow throws that out the window. Instead, you'd be compensated based on something called net benefit value your work provides to society. Basically, how much good does your work actually do? So think about it. A nurse saving lives, that's a super high net benefit value. But a company that pollutes a river, their value might actually be negative. It's a complete 180 on who and what we decide to reward. So how would you even make this happen? Well, the model relies on three key pieces of tech. First, you've got a powerful AI that acts as the central brain, constantly analyzing the economy to maximize that net benefit value for everyone. Second, to make it all measurable, every single transaction would use a single, fully trackable digital currency. This means total transparency. And third, and this is important, humans are still in charge. We set the goals, we feed the data into the AI, making sure it's working for us and not the other way around. And the whole point of that single trackable currency? Well, the theory is actually pretty simple. If every single transaction is transparent and needs a valid reason, it becomes almost impossible to get away with stuff like bribery, fraud, or tax evasion. It's an attempt to design financial crime right out of the system. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does the system actually connect the dots? How does it claim to solve those huge problems we laid out at the very beginning? All right, so here's where the rubber meets the road. To tackle corruption, you've got that transparent cryptocurrency we just talked about. To fight environmental damage, that net benefit value system is designed to reward green innovation and, penalize pollution. And to deal with the huge issue of job losses from automation, the answer here is a universal basic income plus funding for new, much-needed social roles in areas like elder care and education. And the ambitious claims don't stop there. The documents say the system would naturally push the workforce away from things like financial speculation and towards jobs that have real value, social, medical, and environmental work. It even claims it would end the boom and bust cycle of recessions, dramatically speed up scientific progress, and get this, provide a realistic way to finance all of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals.
So, in the end, the vision here is way bigger than just fixing what's broken. It's really about building a very specific kind of future. And the creators themselves, they actually compare it to that ethical, high-tech, post-scarcity world you see in Star Trek.
And, well, this all leaves us with a massive question, doesn't it? The whole proposal is incredibly ambitious, it's super detailed, but man, it requires a whole lot of trust in technology and in a kind of central planning. So you have to ask yourself, could a society that's run by algorithms really be fair? Or are we just talking about trading in the problems we have now for a whole new set of digital ones? Maybe even a kind of digital dystopia? It's a lot to think about.